Hello, welcome back again. So we're gonna have another one in battles that are gonna be interesting, but not necessarily good, which is really a pattern I need to be moving away from. This time, though, it's because it's the Gaza C. Gaza C's kinda. So I really like the Gaza C, and I especially like the fact that it looks exactly like one of the suits that shows up during like one of the frames in Dragon's Heaven. If you've seen that, you might recognize what I'm talking about. Yeah, it shows up in Dragon's Heaven for like a single moment. It's fantastic. I love it. But that's what mine is decorated to look like. It's designed to look like the suit that shows up in that OVA. I had to turn the weathering up as high as I could to order to try and get it to kind of look like that. It's hard to make it actually look like that for a combination of the art style in that OVA is everything's very matte. So like I kind of got the matte look I think down, but then it's got like all the stippling and hatching and whatnot. It's so pretty, but it's impossible to perfectly replicate here. And honestly, it's not like they're the same mobile suits anyway, but I digress. So it's one of those reasons I like to take it out, but also I like to take it out because I actually think it's really interesting. But is it good? It doesn't have balancers. It has a single weapon that will overheat when fully charged. Only gets a couple shots. I believe it does stun after enough enough shots. And it is capable of flying, at which point it gets an extra set of weapons. So the best thing it can do is hit and run tactics with that transforming, but it's got like nothing. It's got nothing going for it. This is one of the trickier suits to use effectively because there's just nothing here. I think it has dodge roll. I honestly forget, and that's something we're going to have to pay attention to. It better have dodge roll because I think I would actually say it is bad if it doesn't have dodge roll because it just doesn't have a lot going for it. But I like using it anyway. I don't know. I think the design is interesting, and that beam rifle is a lot of fun. It can shoot pretty consistent shots. Like, you do get a decent amount of shots out of it, and it can stack some good damage so long as you're not doing the charged shot. The charged shot is good, but you have to be ready to not have a gun for a while. And then, of course, the transformation form is a lot of fun, and that stacks decent damage. You just have to be aware of your boost consumption so that you don't end up like in a situation I could have been in if I didn't have allies here or if there were more enemies present, because out of boost, stranded, with like 3 enemies around you, it's a pretty easy thing to do if you're really trying to push that flight stuff. But you can see I am stacking up some decent damage with the combination of landing hits with the beam rifle and then having those rapid fire beam guns in the transformed state. It does still stack damage. It just, there's a lot you can take that can stack damage more effectively, more consistently. Again, unless you're really good at landing hits with that beam rifle, which I'm not necessarily perfect at. So yeah, I like the suit. I still like it, but it's definitely one of the trickier things to actually use effectively. I also just kind of like anything that has a good transformed form. The transformation stuff is a lot of fun. The Humberby is one of the ones I like especially well. Now we're going to go for a charge shot here, and I waste it, and there you can see now I'm stuck without a rifle for way too long. I really should consider putting, if they're not on here, they should be if they're not, some parts on here for overheat so that I can get that rifle back up and running a lot quicker after overheating. I want to see... Okay, 3 shots to stun. Unfortunately, we overheated again in the process. We missed one of those shots there. If we hadn't, we would have been able to stun him and keep moving, but as it is, we're just trying to run, and it's not really going to help us too much, because as you can see, we're now surrounded. We did end up back on our feet, which I am shocked by. Ooh, that's a really cool color palette, actually. But yeah, unsurprisingly, it took like 1 shot to finish us off, and he's just moving on. So, I mean, I'm showing off what it can do. We get to see it fly around. We get to see it do its thing. But yeah, it's a little bit tough. I kind of wish the damage on the beam rifle were a little higher, actually, uncharged. That might make it a little bit... Well, I guess it doesn't need that either. Maybe... I don't know. I guess to determine if it needs that, I need to look at everything else that's at the point range, too, to kind of see what all its faces off against. Because maybe it doesn't need it. It does... Again, it stacks decent damage. That didn't feel like a lot, to be fair. But it has to be like multiple hits before it really starts seeing decent damage build up. Luckily, it does reheat. It does cool off pretty quickly. Again, we're gonna once again isolate ourselves though right here, and there's not really much the rest of my team can do. Luckily, we did get back on our feet. But now we're going to get stunned, and we're just not going to have a good time. Oh, yeah, it does have dodge roll. That's good. Almost got that kill there. Allies did take that right at the end there, and now my rifle's overheated. So, yeah, I'm, well, not left without options, because as I said before, you've got that rapid-fire beam cannon. We're going to crash into him, get some extra damage there, stop whatever he was trying to shoot at. So that's stop him from shooting at whatever he was trying to shoot at. So that's pretty awesome, and now we're just waiting for our boost to come back, which tends to be a lot of the loop with this one, is waiting for something to be ready again. You really have to put your shots where you need them, because otherwise you're just going to be stuck without weapons. Also, heat management is imperative. This is definitely a suit that, like, without heat management, it's dead. Ooh, that was bad. Oh, we still got the kill. I'm so grateful we still got the kill after missing 2 shots. We could have easily been taken out there. I'm not sure why he went with... If he had gone with a stunning option, he might have just had an overheated beam rifle. But if he had stunned us and moved in, that would have been it. That would have absolutely been it. But thankfully, we got that kill, and then reset ourselves into the middle of the enemy, and now have 300 health left. So I can't believe he didn't get us. That's awesome. But ultimately, still futile. Couldn't stack enough damage to actually finish him off, or really take that much of a dent in him at all, if I'm going to be completely honest. But, you know, it was the enemy support. That's part of why fighting against advantage. It happens. It's, especially with something like this that isn't super... Yeah, isn't super high damage. Like, this isn't hitting for, like, gigantic numbers, right? So the fighting against type like that, it's going to be a lot trickier than some other stuff. There's definitely stuff that can stack damage a lot quicker, a lot more consistently, like I said before. That's going to be able to fight against type easier than this one is. But we're going to go in... Well, we were trying to go in for one last big hit if we could, right at the end here. Ooh, but unfortunately we got stunned by allies of our enemy's allies. Enemy's allies stunned us and managed to finish us off there. I hope we didn't cost the match. I think we were right. Oh. Okay. I think we did actually throw the match. I think we were 1 kill off. Well, that's fun. That's funny. Yeah, whoops. Should not have moved in. Not with the Gaza C. With some other things, maybe. Not with the Gaza C. He had allies, and allies kept us still. I was actually going for a tackle there, but, you know, allies did what allies are supposed to do and kept me still. So, yeah, don't stick your nose out too far is the moral of that story, especially with something that you already know has limited attack options. Yeah, we're gonna end that there. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.